Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Toonkind at 12 FPS. This is Too Much Time on Your Hands. Um, I am Oatmeal, and I will be playing the Professor. And here with me today, for the first time, I think, that we've been in something ever together. Yes.
Haha! Hello, everyone. I am Noodle or Pasta or Udon or whichever variation thereof y'all are feeling like today. And I bring a horrible, terrible, awful, annoying bird who is going to steal. There are so many people in this server now that are like friends or people who are connected to other people that he's like, I can't steal from you. But the professor is here.
And Jubilee
I regret.
does not really know the Professor. Yep.
Nope.
So, it's a nice, cold early winter day, in Villestown. And, the Professor is just,
What is he up to? How's he doing?
well, he seems to be in a good mood because he is, just sort of like walking around and, singing to himself. Um,
Hmm.
Sometimes quietly, every once in a while, like bursting out into some sort of show tune or something. Because he's that kind of person.
Oh my god, I love him.
And a bard, so if he's just sort of going through his mental playlist and singing a whole bunch.
I love him. I love him so much. Oh,
I want to roll performance to see if he's actually any
please
good.
do. Please do.
Okay, that's a 10. I think,
Oh.
maybe he forgot to warm up his voice beforehand.
Oh no, what's the total? Oh dear.
The 10 is the total.
Oh.
Yeah!
Oh, Professor.
I
Oh,
know!
darling. Oop.
Yep.
Well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's enjoying himself, but you might not guess that he's a bard by trade.
That's fair. I need to roll several things now to see if I roll something else. Okay. Okay, that's above a 10. That's good. So we're gonna roll sneaky first. 17 there. Professor,
Hmm.
do you want to roll some perception?
Uh, yeah, yeah. I'll roll perception. Oh no, that's unreadable. Okay, that's a 21.
Well, that is very fair. Let's get one more roll. We'll still go with the 21. Because I think these are both, yep, they are in fact both the same modifier.
Yo.
Huh. Haha. So, Professor, you are singing. You are having a lovely time. And you don't almost miss him. You do. That's a good 5 points higher. That's pretty good. There is a very tall young gentleman who has pulled a face at your singing as you passed him by. Who got up quite abruptly, and did brush past you, kind of a little bit in a huff.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
He is unaffected.
yeah. Now I have a question,
Uh-huh.
because I haven't listened to all the games,
Oh,
but
yeah.
has the professor been told about one Jubilee Yukon?
Um, he only knows, only knows Jubilee from the chat,
Mhm.
and does not know anything about this person, and does not connect them to a certain event that happened that Azumi did tell him about, but that's not connected to this name at all whatsoever.
That's fair. Roll history for me then.
The
'Cause there is
the DC should be decently high just because he's only been on this planet for like a year.
no. This is for a more recent event.
Oh, okay. That's... Oh, I mean, you have a good history, but that's a shit roll. Yeah, that's a 13.
That's higher than a 10. That counts. You recognize this young gentleman. You're not quite sure who you can connect him to, but you did see him when you were in Yeto. He was definitely hanging around the same hotel that you and everyone else did.
Yeah.
And he did leave fairly early into the trip, but he was there.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I think at that realization, he just sort of like stops at the end of a line and whirls around and says, "Excuse me."
Jude turns on his heel and raises an eyebrow. Those are some very, very pink sunglasses. They are very hard to miss.
You wouldn't have to have been along with the, let's see, the group of people who went to Yeto a bit ago.
That is a very oddly specific question to ask someone.
Right. Okay. So I'm the professor.
Mm-hmm.
From Moria's sort of
detective agency.
Well, I'm not a detective, but I'm just sort of a acquaintance who was allowed to be in on the communications. But I recognized, and he sort of like waves a hand, like your look. You.
Do you want to roll some insight?
Yeah.
As he's rapping?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, for a second I thought that was a nat 1, but no, it's just the lighting. It's a 7. Wait, no, insight. What's my mod?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's very good. Yeah, no, that's only a +3, so that's a 10.
Fair. It takes you a little bit as you're rambling, but as you continue, Professor, firstly, you know that he recognizes you. And then you clue in later as you keep going, and he keeps giving half answers. He's drawing this out because he thinks it's funny. And he is being... He is very... He knows who you are. He recognizes who you are as soon as you introduced yourself. He's just drawing this out for the sake of drawing this out and making you awkward.
I think he just sort of like, again, like realizing that, like stops and laughs, and shakes his head. Okay.
Yeah. You're the one in chat. I do recognize you. Honestly, you could have probably just introduced yourself as the time traveler. I mean, there's really only one I know about, so that does work.
Wait, does he know that?
Yes.
How does he know that?
He is brothers with Leo.
Did Leo tell him about that?
I think... Did they? I thought I could have sworn I saw something.
Because it wasn't in that chat.
What chat was it in?
Because it...
Did I pull another thing where Juby just knows things he shouldn't?
Maybe, because I've been pretty careful not to have people say that in
Mm.
canon chat.
Then never mind.
Okay.
We can redact that, wind it back. Let's have some other bullshit time shenanigans already. Didn't happen.
uh,
That's fair.
I think the only thing I can think, like, he's been mentioned in chat, and like,
Then he would have could
Azumi
have been the mister.
put a picture of him asleep in there once. That's the only
Oh
thing.
my god. There's so much nonsense.
Like, that's the only picture of Professor that I'm aware that exists on this planet.
There's so much stuff. It's like, Juby, my dear, how many things do you know? He knows too many things. He eavesdrops on conversations that he should not.
Mm-hmm.
He might have heard something about it probably in the twins reunion game, because he was listening in that entire time he was in the house. So he may have heard about a time traveler. He doesn't know that it's the professor then.
Wait, the twins reunion game?
Yes, that was a while ago. That was an FPS.
Ooh. He's
Yes.
in the same house. I haven't watched that one. I don't know if he mentioned it in that one. If
That's
Camille
fair.
mentioned it.
I think they might have mentioned the bet.
If they mentioned the bet, then it's probably reasonable that he could have connected those dots. Like,
We're gonna say he hasn't for now,
Okay.
and roll with that.
okay.
We do these things. It's fine. We have to have it's a AI FPS. Things have to be at least a little bit scuffed. Well, regardless.
Yeah, he could
He is
recognize
still
his
being-
name from the chat at any rate.
Yeah. Could have just Regardless. Pick back up. Yes, he's
Yeah.
recognized. Jubilee was drawing that out by being a prick on purpose.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he just sort of laughs and shakes his head, and he's like, "All right, so yes, it was you."
Yes, I did go to Yado with everyone for a bit.
Right. Well, then, so which one are you? And he like holds his hand out and just sort of gives like a like slightly like baffled and like sort of semi-teasing grin, like, come on, like.
Oh, but it's so much more fun when you have to guess. Why would I just give away my name? Now then again, that's a very poor thing to do. Anyone who's encountered the Fae knows better than to just offer their name.
Yes, well, that's why I'm the professor.
Mm-hmm. And you're asking for mine now. You could guess my name, but I'm not going to just give it away. That's too easy.
Well, you could give me something else.
I could. You know, I know exactly what I'm going to give you. Bye! And just gives a wave as he turns on his heel. And, hey, Oatmeal.
Yeah.
Because it's funnier.
Mm-hmm.
What was that thing that you were thinking that Jubilee might have stolen from the professor?
I was thinking, like, let me see, where was the other? One of three things, like, because if he had reached his pocket, he would have felt like, something small and metal, something, slimy, and something, something like larger and smooth and kind of flat. So which one of those would he have taken?
Probably the metal thing. Honestly, because metal is often more valuable. He would have felt the slimy and then like, ugh, no,
Okay, so
nope.
the small metal thing or the big thing?
Probably the big thing.
Okay.
Because that's easier to notice if it's missing from your pocket.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, do you want to know what he stole?
Um, I do.
Uh-huh.
It's also very funny. Yeah. What has Jubilee stolen?
Um, there is it is an object that is essentially a palm-sized sort of circular mirror
Mhm.
um, uh, set in some pretty sturdy metal with
This is
off the back of
mirror.
it a sort of a piece of metal leading to like an arm leading to like a little bit with like screw holes in it.
Mhm.
It's the side mirror from a car.
Oh my god. He's realized he's taken this and just kind of stops for a beat and oh, how well do you play this off, Juby? Oh boy. That's right. That's a 13. You do quite well. You play this off very well. That's a 32, Juby.
Wow, nice.
He is very good at lying. um, as he's having this moment of, why was this in your pocket?
Mm-hmm.
Professor, you get a very good view of two very large feathered wings.
Mm-hmm.
And you can tell when things are weird with time.
Uh-huh.
You can tell when things are very weird with time.
Yep.
And those wings are weird.
Mm-hmm.
There is very clearly something that was shifted around, that these are out of place. That they are, but they aren't.
Mm-hmm.
Like they should be here, but they're not. Like something was stitched together to have them be here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he had sort of like he wasn't sure uh what Jubilee was doing. Like he just sort of like turned and Jubilee just started to like uh
Leave.
yeah, leave. And Professor was going to like uh follow, like, hey, come on, Um like, that's really rude. Can we just have a conversation? What's up? Um and he notices the time thing, and like his step sort of like falters, and uh and then he's like rushing around front to cut Jubilee off.
Because it's funnier. I don't think Jubilee cares about the fact that he's stolen this anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Even though he played it off really well and he's going to act like he didn't. But he does not hide the fact that he has this car mirror.
Mm-hmm.
He is gesturing with it, in fact, because rule of funny. And he's just like, "Excuse me, I was exiting stage left. Have you no common decency for the exit?"
Sorry, this scene is not over. Um, is that what? Hang on. That's. But okay.
What? Do you not just find random cameos on the ground? It happens a bit. Things go weird in this city.
No, that's mine. Why do you?
Are you sure it's yours?
he opens his mouth to retort and then like digs in his pocket, and continues digging in his pocket and continues digging in his pocket, and then he like opens it and like looks, and then he's like, yes, I'm pretty sure that that's mine actually.
Well, you can take it back. I mean, I don't think there's any use for this.
I mean, I can't imagine what use you would have for it, so if you don't mind, and he's just going to, like, put his hand out.
Yeah, Judy gives it back. It's like, you need to clean out your bloody pockets. Whatever was in there was gross.
What?
Regardless, are we good aside from you noticing that you're missing a random Kamiya that you, for some reason, just have in your pockets?
Well... Alright, I was working on a car. Listen... No!
What kind of car? It doesn't need to be put together like a jigsaw puzzle, usually, I think.
No, it needed a replacement, and I never got around to it. No, I don't mind. First of all, okay, I actually would like to make sure that you've not stolen anything else. If you have, please just give it back. I don't really care, but please give it back. And also,
No.
I would like... No? Sorry?
Don't worry about it. Continue.
He just sort of, like, puts a hand to, rubs his palm on his face, and he's still like smiling. He seems like half amused, but like he is also starting to get kind of annoyed.
You can tell this bird is still greatly amused by this. He has found a new bit. He's going to annoy you.
Right. Well, the other thing is, I would actually really like to know which one of you, you are.
Well, there's a definite blink, and yeah, he's a Toon. He is confused enough that there are genuine question marks that pop up above his head as he kind of tilts his head. Like, what?
Look, there's a lot of random people that I haven't met in Moria's chat. I'd like to figure out which one you are. I don't know who all was on the trip either. I mean, I have a decent idea who was and wasn't on it, but I don't have all the names. I mean, I could probably peck out your handle, but I don't...
You can insight that if you'd like, but he is clearing his throat and like, oh, right. Well, I mean, that's
that one.
Oof. It's fine. He covers up his slip up, but man, asking which one you are is like, which one of you? He's, oh boy, Juby's having a day. That was a 3 on his vibe check. He's been having a day, and it is cold out. He sure is having a time. But he just, stars. Well, I suppose you would know me a bit, better there as, Lovejoy. Well, Love-J.Y. It's a whole thing.
Right. Okay.
Trying to build a brand is difficult. Either way, Jubilee Yukon.
Okay. Okay. Jubilee Yukon. Yes, pleased to meet you too, finally. And he holds out a hand, like, listen, I don't know if you're gonna shake my hand, but, like, he's holding out his hand, you know? Because it's the polite thing to do.
Because it's funny. He will shake the professor's hand. But misdirection is wonderful. You want to roll some perception?
Yeah, I will roll. Yeah, that's a 12. That's not gonna work.
No. Um, what was the other metal thing in his pocket?
The other metal thing is much more valuable. It is a signet ring. It is a metal signet ring with like a the kind with sort of like a flat face on it with like an intricate design that you would use to press into like a wax seal, as you know, and it's usually like some sort of identifying mark or coat of arms or something like that. Like this is a regular thing that nobles have. Like you've probably seen these on some people that whatever. You might have even snatched some before, but yeah.
He has seen this and is very familiar with these. He knows someone who has one of these as well.
Mm-hmm.
So he takes this, and while the professor does not notice yet, Jubilee has slipped it onto his hand and is wearing it at the moment because he's finding this very funny, and he's going to keep messing with the professor for as long as he can get away with it.
Gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, very good.
So, yes, he does shake your hand and then steal from you again.
Mm-hmm.
Plain as day. He's like, all right, yes. So, though, if I may be a bit more nosy, how the peck do you know that lot? You don't seem... And he looks you up and down. You don't seem like the detective sort.
No. No. Let's see. How did it... I got wrapped up in, some sort of adventuring situation with,
As one does.
Yes. With, Arata and Sammy, a year ago? Over a year ago? And then from there I sort of just met everybody else. Well, actually, no. I did meet just sort of Camille by chance. But
as one does. There's a sigh with that.
Yes. And I met, let's see, Azumi, and I worked with him on a case. Actually, it's still ongoing. Yes, and then
work with him.
What? Oh,
you work with him closely.
I mean, I worked together with a case. I worked with him on a case.
And he's doing fine.
Yes, it's detective. I mean, well, for his side, it's detective work. For me, I was just already involved, and I'm just sort of the responsible adult.
Roll some insight.
Yeah.
Roll some insight.
Oh, yeah. 10.
I will say, you don't get the whole story.
Mm-hmm.
But this bird does wear his heart on his sleeve. He's concerned. He is concerned about Azumi, and is asking because, like, you realize, is he okay? Is that kind of thing. Not just is he okay with the case, it's just, is he in general okay? You don't know why. You don't know what relationship he has to Azumi, but he's concerned.
Yeah, and since this is... I was going to place it after... not after... I was going to place it post-Yeto trip for, well, obvious reasons. Just sort of more present time. He just sort of like he tilts his head a bit and just sort of like waves a hand in the air. He says, it's just, I mean, he was on the case before, I mean, you were on the trip. Yes, he was on the case before everything, and it's just sort of continued, because we didn't solve it, resolve it, before, you know, all of that. So we're just sort of continuing to work on it, and it is, I will admit, rather rough. I mean, Camille's not allowed on it.
No, I don't think you'd let a 7-year-old on the sort of cases, knowing the kind of person Ozumi is, he probably deals with.
Yeah, and like, there's, I want you to roll insight, because, like, there's like a minute, like, pause before he like continues talking.
Good as your insight, that's right, it's not as good as you are at lying. That is an 11.
Ooh, okay. I will say the pause was, that's enough to figure out that it was at, like, the Camille being 7 thing. You don't get anything more than that, but, like, that's what that pause was,
There's a squint.
a result of, yeah. And he's like, right, yes, well, what was I saying? Fairly intense case, but I mean, we're, doing all right. He's, I mean, he seems to, and he like rubs the back of his neck. Like, enjoy is not the right word for a case like this. I think he finds meaning in the work. And
that's good enough, I suppose.
Right, and for anything else, I've just been sort of, I guess, trying to keep an eye on him. I mean, I am sort of, I think I'm kind of the de facto leader of the group with the other people we're working with, and, well, you know, when push comes to shove, I am the healer, so I sort of watch out for him that way, but...
Yeah, that's valuable. Right. Well, that was just personal curiosity.
Well, sure, I mean, you...
Well, I mean, I do need to still beat his ass, because he was stupid.
Huh.
So having a healer on hand would be fantastic. And eventually I catch up to him. Don't worry about it, it's fine, it's a pact thing.
Sorry, what?
Oh. I'll make it very quickly. Long story short, we know each other, he's a prick. He caught up with me at some point, and was finding out some things. Was hired on a case to actually find me for a short bit, or at least get some answers. It was a bit... It's been a few months, and I tried to forget that period of time, regardless. We decided that if either of us were going to be stupid and self-destructive, that we would beat the other's ass.
Oh, that kind of pact. I thought you meant like a warlock pact.
No.
Right.
Having Azumi as a patron would be stupid.
No, not like that. No.
That would be awful. Are you kidding me?
No, I don't even think that you can't... He's like, no, that's
thank
not...
you. I quite like mine as it is. It's fine.
No, I mean, if you do want to, he sort of, like, waves a hand, like, have at it with him at some point. I would be, I think it would be amusing to referee.
Mm-hmm. I think I'd win. I'm quite certain I'd win. I'm quite good at that. And he does kind of puff up a bit as he brags.
Professor just sort of, like, stops, and he's got like a bit of a smirk as he like looks Jubilee up and down. You
You
know,
want to roll perception again?
I will.
As you do.
Assessing. Um, all right, a 13. I think that's the same thing I got last time. No, wait, that's a... Is that a 13? Nope, nope. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, that is a 13.
Yeah, that's 13.
Yeah, I just forgot to do the math thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he's just sort of like looking him over, assessing, because he just claimed that he's pretty sure he could beat Azumi, and the professor is a little skeptical.
With fair reason. You don't notice that you've been stolen from yet. I will say the DC is a little higher this time to notice.
Mm-hmm.
It is 15, I'll admit that.
Oh, sure.
But this is a twig. He is very clearly a UPA tune, though standing closer you can see he is 3D, oddly enough, despite the visual elements.
Mm.
And he is very tall and very thin, and while he does have, quite the fancy sword at his hip that is kind of tucked under his coat, and along with, again, something else you notice just because you're keyed into this time stuff, there's a pocket watch, this golden chain that radiates the same kind of energy as his wings do.
Mm. Yeah, he's tucking that away. He's not sure how to breach this yet, but...
Yeah, but those seem to be the biggest things for... As far as visually... He has a sword, he has a weird watch, and that's about all he seems to have going for him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And an excessive amount of overconfidence.
Yeah. So he does this, and he sort of, leans back, puts his chin on his hand, squints. I don't know. I've seen Azumi in combat.
As have I. And I am still entirely certain I could beat him. For one, he has to get close to you, and I have range. For another, I just know I can beat him.
Maybe he was holding back.
I don't think he was. I think he was quite pissed in this fight. Ugh.
Okay. Alright. Maybe so. He looks slightly more impressed.
Well, I mean, he wasn't fighting me.
Oh?
No, we were on the same side. Did you hear about when Camille got kidnapped a few months back?
Yes.
I was part of that rescue party.
Ah, I see.
I couldn't exactly let my little brother be taken for very long.
No.
So yes, I have seen him in combat when he's quite serious. And again, still quite certain I would win.
Respectfully, I think I'm obliged to say that I'll believe it when I see it.
Well, you'll be in for a show. I can promise you that.
I look forward to it.
And speaking of show,
Hmm.
because I mean this in the most respectful way, you are aware that people can hear you when you're singing in the street?
Well, yes, of course.
Mm-hmm. There's a look.
It is partially the point.
Do you subject them to off-key singing? I mean, I can understand singing if you're busking and trying to get coin, but I
Mm.
think that sooner gain you more vegetables than gold.
I hardly need either. Um,
What was in your pocket? Is that the? Do you have rotten tomatoes in your pocket? Is that what was slimy?
what? No, wait.
Why the heck did?
No, hang on. Let me think. Let me think. What have I got in my? And he puts his hand to his chin and seems to be like mentally going through a list. And he goes, "Oh, that was probably the soap."
The what?
Soap, a bar of soap.
Yes, I know what soap is. Soap is not typically, I mean, slippery, yet slimy.
I mean,
Yeah,
he shrugs.
soap.
He just shrugs.
There is very much like his wings droop behind him, and he's just like taking out his hand, like, what did I touch?
He's like, it was soap. I don't have anything else like that in there. All of my rations are packed away, and I don't think any of them are perishable like that anyway. I mean, they're rations for a reason.
Yes, I should certainly hope not. That would be weird to keep in your pockets.
Mm.
One thing is pastries up your sleeves, but heck's sake.
No, and I can't do that anyway. That there are rules that I have to adhere to.
Real kind then.
Oh yes.
Hmm.
And it is you know, like, yeah, you can have some super realistic tunes, but it is for as much as he sort of has the sort of like bombastic sort of like wiry energy of a tune, he is pretty clearly real kind.
This is a dude who is very animated, but is not animated.
Correct.
Capital A.
Correct.
Juby can appreciate this. Like, but as for the moment, he is still like, why? He's having a moment and just.
Wait, you need soap sometimes. I mean, what if you're out adventuring and you need to wash up?
That's what a river's for.
Yeah, well, river's no
water
good.
works.
It does not.
It works good enough.
Oh yeah. Does it work?
I mean,
does it work on tar?
well, thankfully I've never been tarred and feathered, so I wouldn't have to know.
Yes, well, you're very fortunate.
And that sounds more like a you problem.
And he just sort of like wiggles his head like sassily. Well, the point is, I'm prepared.
You're prepared, but at the same point, if it's in whatever state that was, I don't think it's going to help Tar. No matter how funny the gag would be or how fitting in this place, I really don't think that could have gotten Tar off. Takes his hand again, just like certain. Like looking over his glove, like, is there something on there? Because he is wearing fingerless gloves.
Uh-huh.
It's like...
he just shakes his head and like he's like fine, like, and he goes in his pocket and he does before, like, he was rummaging around, like this time he immediately takes out a bar of soap, and it's just kind of wet, hence the sliminess.
There is very much like that anime, the lines of despair that is like, ugh. Juby pulls the face at this. Like, why?
Well, it's not a vegetable.
I'll show you a pecking vegetable. How just... I am... You'd think, Stas, I'd get used to meeting odd people. This place is just full of them.
Do you know what else it's good for? And
What?
Deterring would-be thieves.
You want to roll perception again?
Yes.
Please do.
Okay, that's a good roll.
Mm-hmm.
Finally, Professor. That's a 21.
Yeah. You see, shining on this bird's hand, your ring. Like, well, it's not a very effective deterrent. It's just gross.
And he, like, he pockets the soap and is suddenly, like, obviously fixated on Jubilee's hand where the ring is, and just sort of gives, like, an appalled look. Like, how dare you?
It's like, I mean, well, at this point you were just making it quite easy.
Okay.
I mean, you don't even, I mean, I could pawn this off, really. But I don't think I'd get much for it. Especially not if I just can say, oh, yes, it's just for some no-name family. I mean, I could just spin a tale of something, but only knowing someone as the professor is really not going to help my case, as creative as I may be.
Yes, well, it's hardly local.
Again, I can spin a very good tale. Either way, at this point it's just more fun to see what I can take.
Alright.
And, of course, the problem is you could snitch to my siblings, and I would get bitten. Which I'd like to avoid, so you'll get this back eventually.
Well, good. I should hope so, because, and he does, like, hesitate a little more longer than, like, his sort of, like, amusement would have warranted. That's not a symbol you want to just go walking around with long term.
Oh?
No.
I mean, what's the worst thing it could do? Get me killed?
No.
Oh, thank goodness. That would be a pain in my ass.
No, it could do worse.
Blink. Oh.
Not me. But
So this shit has plot with it.
He cringes because he hates that. You could say that.
Juby looks at the ring a bit and was like, you'll get it back eventually. He takes it off and why not? Because of course he has to, Juby, my dear. Roll his own performance. That is a 30. You can tell this guy is a showman. And he's very practiced with these tricks. As he kind of takes it off his finger and kind of walks it across his knuckles and then vanishes the ring up his sleeve.
Yeah. Professor had sort of like, done that thing where you'd like, start to reach forward and then stop because it's too late.
Oh, no. You don't get to steal things from me quite easily.
Alright, I'm just saying, the people attached to that are not ones you want to mess with.
Oh, I'm guessing that's quite relevant. However, I we'll be giving it back when I think it's fitting. Which is... we'll see. Again, it'll be back before you walk away. You don't need to fuss.
Okay.
As said, being bitten is quite a powerful deterrent.
He does actually relax. It seemed like he thought you were going to hang on to it a lot longer than that.
Yeah, no, and I won't even make him roll. Professor, you can tell that for all he's being flippant about it, he does not want to get bitten by family. He's like, ooh, because that is a very real threat in his house.
Nice.
Like, no, we're gonna avoid that.
Mm.
But this is an asshole. And he is drawing things out because he can, and he enjoys being a prick.
Yeah. But, he you know, now being like, he doesn't, you know, now that he's sort of like, okay, this guy actually is going to return it, more at ease, he goes, well, aside from that, though, there is something about you that could just get their attention, even without the ring.
Oh, is it my good looks? Oh, come on, you could have... Oh.
His eyes...
like, come on.
His eyes flick from his face to his wings and back. Well... not exactly.
Okay. If it's... There's a pause. Because he caught you looking at his wings. And there are many thoughts that he instantly goes to. Oh dear.
It was a pointed look. Like, you were meant to see that.
Yeah, it is definitely... oh boy, Juby is having a moment. Because... for one, Professor didn't know right away who he was.
Nuh-uh.
Which rules out some things that he has in connection with his wings. On the other hand, he is also paranoid and thinks very many things all at once. Especially when it's like, oh shit, danger.
Yeah.
So it's like, do you want to perhaps clarify that?
Well, certainly. It's just that there's something very interesting about those extra appendages of yours, and also an item you have.
And he does straighten up and kind of... there's a faint light that goes across his glasses as he does. But there is still the outline of one eye in the glasses. As he just kind of gives you a bit of a sharper look this time. Again, do you care to clarify? Because I'm not quite certain. You don't know who I am. But saying people have an interest in me, potentially...
well...
is a problem.
Sure. Well, that is why I'm trying to warn you. But he takes out, he takes another thing from his pocket, and this time it's his multi-tool, which is kind of like a pen-sized, like, sort of pocket knife type deal. Like, there is a blade on this that is not difficult to see. But he is not holding it in a way to use the blade. He is accessing some other thing, and he holds it in a way that it's sort of like obscures the part that he's fiddling with. And he sort of like indicates the tool, and he says, I happen to be rather good at identifying things that don't quite belong time-wise. Anachronisms, you know.
Right.
Or artifacts that are too powerful to be allowed to remain in the possession of somebody who would misuse them.
I can assure you my wings are no powerful artifact. That's quite funny. I can't even fly.
Yes, well, they sure are giving off some odd readings.
And you can try and roll insight. I don't know if you can beat a 24, but...
Only if I get like a 19. I got a nat 20. Well, okay.
Hot dang! Professor is paying attention.
Actually, no, wait, insight? Yeah, no, I couldn't have got it unless I got a nat. Because my modifier is a 3.
Yeah.
Well,
there's one part of this you don't know, but it's a nat 20, so I'm going to give you quite a fair bit. Because nat 20s are good. So, he is wary. You can tell that right away. And for all he's been deflecting, there's something very pointed to how he is standing and holding himself that looks almost like someone about to go into a fight. Not defensive, though, just ready. And those wings have definitely shifted to be held closer to his back, even though they are too big to hide. And the feathers have ruffled a bit. Before, you could tell it was probably just against the cold, but this is more pointed. This is a reaction with emotions. And he knows what you're talking about. He knows that there's something off with the time surrounding them, and that there is something to do with time. And he knows what other item you're talking about that has to do with time, because it's subtle, but he has moved to hide that pocket watch more. But you don't know more of the connection.
No.
You don't know the source of what this might be.
Sure.
Or, yeah. But you're well aware that he knows what you're talking about again.
Yeah. In that case, he's going to just sort of adjust his body language as well into as like non-threatening as he can manage. He's still quite tall, but he just sort of like stands in a way that, like, if you wanted to go for something vital, you'd have a pretty clear shot. And he's like, not ready to do anything. He's not readying an action or anything like that. It's very passive. But he just sort of gestures with the tool, like not even at Jubilee, just off to the side, Um, and he says, well, they might not do anything, but may I ask why there's so much temporal energy surrounding them?
Sure. You explain something in turn.
Mm.
There's a bit of give and take with all of these things.
Mm.
I mean, I need to know that you won't go blabbing.
He just sort of blinks, like, who would I blab to?
I don't know. There's people. There's lots of people. Clearly, you have people with time nonsense.
Right, them. Okay, so what you should know first is that I hate them and they hate me.
Hmm.
Um, uh, I, I did just mention, sort of the example with some sort of.
A more poignant question,
Hmm?
I should say.
What?
Do Izumi and Camille trust you?
He takes a breath and, well, as cliche as it sounds, yes, with their lives.
And he does relax at that visibly. There. That's proof enough. All right. It's because they were gone for a very long time and they should not be here.
Hmm.
And I was not so much gifted as earned them back.
Hmm. Is it a sort of situation where their presence is essentially borrowed from the past?
No, I don't think so. Not more edited.
Hmm.
Something that should have been merged into what it is.
What do you mean?
I lost my wings a very long time ago,
Yes.
and I made, as part of a pact that I made, I was given the chance to earn them back to what they should be.
So what does that have to do with time?
It has everything to do with time, considering who my patron is.
And who is that?
The goddess of time.
Okay. Huh. He looks off to the side.
I suppose he could roll religion, maybe? If he wanted to.
Yeah,
It would be
actually,
very difficult. From
yeah.
what I know, I don't know the specific DC that would be set, but I know it's hard.
Sure, sure. Yeah, I'll roll, and I'm actually curious, just because of the sort of tenuous connection.
Mhm.
Let's see. Did you roll any sort of perception on Professor at some point, or?
I don't think so.
Okay, would you like to?
Sure.
All right. Because there's something you might notice that might lead to another roll. But in the meantime,
Yeah,
religion.
he is so perceptive.
Religion.
That's an 8.
I got a 19. That's probably not going to do it. Oh, pity.
No.
Yeah, that's a miss.
Yeah, no, there's a few gods of time around Inkwell,
Mm-hmm.
but
He knows some
no,
of he
yeah.
knows one of them.
Yeah, I don't think he knows specifically this one,
Probably not.
because it's a bit hard to find a forgotten goddess.
Yeah, yeah. No, that makes sense. Honestly, um, because as much as like it would be something that he might look into, he also has not been here long, and also
Mhm.
the nature of the person.
Yep.
Yeah. Um, let's see. So, yeah, said patron. So he just sort of like looks off to the side and looks like um,
I'll
kind
give one
of
more thing.
thoughtful, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give one more thing. Because of that nat 20, and the professor's still, keeping an eye on Jubilee as they speak,
Mm.
he seems very protective of this person
Mm.
when he speaks of his patron. There is a definite defensiveness of why he is not outright saying who it is.
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He nods slowly. All right. Uh, goddess of time, huh?
Hmm. I suppose there's more, but one of them, yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, not a lot I can do about that.
Mm, no, I don't think so. I should certainly hope you can't undo anything like that, otherwise we would have some very serious issues.
No, no, not to undo it. Just uh, and he like waves a hand in the air. If it's a goddess, even the people I know, uh, they're not going to. Deities are a bit out of their jurisdiction.
Mm, okay. Well, on that hand, that's a bit of a relief. Um, yep, that's a relief.
Yeah, if you're under the protection of some goddess of time, he thinks for a moment. There, the chance that the people I'm thinking of would mess with you is small.
Hmm, but not zero.
No, I'm afraid not. They're rather ambitious. It may not be their jurisdiction, but they do like to meddle.
He thinks for a minute, kind of cocks his head to the side and like, I think they'd have a very bad time. I'm not going to invite the plot with that. No stars, no. Let's not get into that. Very much like to be not in peril. That is historically a very bad thing.
Well, yes, I would rather like to avoid an incident myself.
Right. So that's good.
Right. So, only other
What?
thing I'm concerned about is the pocket watch. Because the wings were a gift, but that strikes me as an artifact.
Actually, also a gift, which you're not getting. It's mine.
No, I don't want it. I want to know what it does.
Oh, well, it doesn't tell time.
Hmm.
I can tell you that. Um, and he does bring it out.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and you can tell right away, just basic listening, this pocket watch does not tick.
Mm-hmm.
And it is also, aside from his sword, which is fancy, but it doesn't seem like it would be expensive.
Mm.
This is gold,
Mm.
and it is very finely engraved. And the gears and everything of it, it is very well made and well kept. And go on.
Oh, he whistles, impressed, and
Thank you, gallery.
and he goes, under his breath, oh, Yuto would love this.
There's a blink. Yuto is in the one that owns the clock shop.
Well,
That one.
yes. I mean, I don't imagine there are too many clock
Oh, he
obsessed.
hates this watch.
No? He hates
He
it.
genuinely laughs. Juvie is laughing. Whatever tension there was before has broken as he just giggles with glee.
But why? It's gorgeous.
Oh, it absolutely is. He just doesn't like me very much.
Oh. Well, I can imagine if he owns a shop and you go about nicking things.
It was like, oh, me? I would. And there's another flick of his wrist as several very prominent pieces that are missing from Yuto's shop appear in his hands. I would never.
Oh, you little rascal.
Oh, it's so much fun. He gets so pissed when I unmake his sandwiches. He just keeps leaving them out, honestly.
You do what? Why?
Because it's funny.
So, hang on.
And he gets angry.
He makes a sandwich and you just go over and take it apart piece by piece just because?
Oh no, that's far too much work.
Well, then what are you talking about?
Bring your disgusting soap back out, will you? I'll show you.
He takes the soap out.
And Jubilee kind of cocks his head a bit, looking at it, and is like, whatever.
He's like, you asked.
Yeah, he's like, he has a vendetta against this soap now. He's very petty. But he does consider it a moment, and then, with a glow from this watch, there is golden light that wraps around this bar of soap, and then reverses it, as if it is as new as the day you obtained it.
Ooh, boy.
Imagine that, but reversing a sandwich.
Yeah, the professor is no longer amused.
Yeah, it's Jubilee.
He's sort of just like, oh god, what's the word? Disconcerted, but not in like a what the hell sort of way, but like, oh, I know what that is and that's bad sort of way.
Juvie has tucked his spoils back up his sleeve, and if you want, you can also take a closer look at the watch with rolling perception.
Sure.
Because if you roll high enough, I'll have you roll another thing.
Well, I got a 20, not a nat.
That's pretty good. Because you would have...
Nope, that is the wrong chat and the wrong way to roll it.
Whoops.
There we go.
Containment breach.
Yep.
Yeah. You see several things about this watch. Because he did click it open just to do so because he can. It didn't require it.
Mm-hmm.
It's clearly more showmanship. But you see some things engraved into the top of it. You see his name. You see that the hands of the watch are pointedly fixed at one point, one time.
Mm.
And you see a date, a few months ago. Would you like to roll history?
Yes.
Mhm.
I'd love to roll history. Please. Gotta go to roll. Alright,
I
let's
will say
see.
you can take advantage if it's low.
Well, let's see. That's... I have a good mod, so that might be okay. That's a 17? What do you think?
Try again just to see if you get higher,
Yeah.
because this was
Nope!
mentioned.
That's,
Nope.
11.
Yeah,
17 it is.
that'll work. That'll work. Professor, you were told of an event that wiped the entire city off the map.
Mm-hmm.
That did happen a few months ago. And thinking to it, there were papers about it. It was not the biggest deal. This town wasn't extremely well known.
Mm-hmm.
But that date on the pocket watch is exactly 2 weeks after the date that Paradise blew up.
Mm.
And it is also about the time that there were a handful of rumors of someone getting up and walking away from the wreckage. And after all, there was only one casualty to this event.
Mm-hmm.
So have fun with that.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh, yeah, he's just sort of like, he's just sort of like looking at, Jubilee, with, um, God, I don't know how to explain his, expression. I mean, this man is very smiley, and he is not smiling. It's not quite like dark as much as it is like serious.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Haha, hands the professor a puzzle.
yeah. And he goes, "Okay, I'm glad I asked because, Jubilee, you shouldn't be able to do something like that, something like this." And he like waves the soap.
Oh, absolutely not. I can't do that on my own.
Okay, you also shouldn't be given, the ability to do that, generally speaking. This is...
Well, I mean, it's not like I'm using it wholly. Yeah, I mean, I unmake a few sandwiches. It's fine.
Okay.
Heck around a bit with food. It's funny. I unmade someone's wig. That was very funny. We got a sheep back from that one. That one was great.
So, earlier I mentioned that somebody had, got their hands on, an artifact that, they weren't allowed to use, that it had temporal energy, and it was my business to, investigate it. Right. So, it is occurring to me that this is awfully similar. It's not
So
quite...
you're the time police.
No. And, like, oh, no, do not call him the police. He hates that. Like, that, there's definitely a note of, like, insult there.
That is recognized. It's like, okay, cool.
No, but as a sort of... As an expert, it is sort of my responsibility to, make sure that such things aren't put into places where they could cause extreme damage.
Does. I hardly think I'm going to do anything like that.
Really?
Yes.
You don't think you could destroy anything with this?
Oh boy. There is a thought. As he thinks and tilts his head back and forth. I mean, I probably could. Probably not anything very big. I mean, if I wanted to destroy something bigger, I wouldn't need a pocket watch to do it.
Why do he like puts a he rubs at his face and he goes, why do people keep giving overpowered artifacts to children?
Excuse you, I'm not a child.
Oh, you might as well be. It's something like that. You can't.
It's mine.
Yes, maybe so, but that doesn't. That's extremely dangerous to have and to use.
Well, nothing bad's happened yet. It's fine. I've dealt with more dangerous.
Okay, yeah, well, I'm gonna say you're going to deal with even more dangerous if you hold on to that thing.
Well, it's not going to go away.
What do you mean? You can get rid of it.
No, I can't.
Why not?
Oh, he hesitates. I'm not gonna have him roll deception because this is an obvious hesitation as he thinks it's over. Because it's connected to me. It's mine.
Okay, yeah, it's
not anyone else's.
Okay, yeah, it's a gift and you're probably attuned to it, but that doesn't mean you can't get rid of it.
No, I mean, I literally can't get rid of this. It's tied to me. It's not attuned. It's mine. It was specifically for me.
Okay, yeah, custom. Are you? Is this one of those things where, like, you're under a curse to never
it's
want?
It's not a bloody curse. She wouldn't fucking curse me.
All right, because it's just awfully common that sometimes, you know, you've got an artifact and oh, it looks like it's so useful, and then it's cursed so that you don't ever want to part with it.
It's not fucking cursed. I mean, I literally can't have this thing away from me.
Why?
Bad things happen.
What
because
happens?
Bad things happen.
What happens?
He's frustrated. He is wound up, clearly. And his feathers ruffle, and it's just like... God. Let's roll a d2, because Juby, you get stupid when you get upset. No.
Oh.
Yes, you do.
Oh.
Yes, you do. And he turns on his heel, and that shine is back. And he just kind of glares at you. And is like, if you are so determined to find out what happens, fucking take it from me if you can.
I'm not going to do that.
Then you'll have to trust my word when I say bad things happen if it's far away from me.
Could you ask for it to be disconnected?
I don't think so. think it's part of the whole warlock thing.
Mm.
It's not a bad thing.
What?
It does more than just that. It lets me actually use magic. If I didn't have that, then it's so... Heck, what are nerds called in? Spell focus, whatever it is.
Yes.
It's like that, and it's connected. And it does that, and it pauses and like snaps its fingers, and in magic that looks like from thin air gears interlocking, a short bow manifests into his hand in glowing light and then solidifies. But still has that like gear pattern on it, as it looks more like it's made out of bronze than wood. It's like it lets me do this, and he lets it go and it vanishes in golden light like threads unwinding. And I can do more, I can cast more spells. I'm not really going to do any of that. Most of them are combat oriented, as I've found.
Oh, right.
But it's...
So it's for more than just party tricks.
Yes, it's for more than just party tricks, and that's not... That alone isn't just a party trick. It can be helpful. I mean, I can't heal with magic or anything, but that works as well. It certainly helped Leo.
It helped Leo?
He got hurt in a fight, and this what I can do with that, with the time, it can heal people.
It reversed what happened.
Not entirely, but it helped. It can't make it doesn't, not as much, but it can do some. I suppose it could do the same. It could hurt someone as well, but I haven't done that.
All right, well. Can I tell you what I did with the other artifact? That did similar things.
Sure.
I'm not going to do it with yours, because you won't give it to me, and also it's connected to you and bad things happen to you when it's gone. This wasn't...
Yes, it fucking hurts when people take it.
All right.
Given.
All right. Yes, it's I don't know, some sort of soulbound object or something then. The point being, this one was not. It was just an object that you could hold and use, and it could be taken and given to whomever, and it didn't matter. And what I did with this object was, it was so powerful, it did things like what yours can do, and more. I convinced the current owner of it to give it to me, and I literally chucked it into the fucking sun.
Jubilee does not stop himself from reacting. He very pointedly brings that pocket watch very close to him.
Yes, I destroyed it, and it's a good thing I did it that way, because it was also created by a god, and I don't know if anything else would have done the trick.
Well, don't fucking toss my pocket watch into the sun.
I already said I'm not going to.
Good, because I think you'd have some people very pissed at you that are, would miss me.
Yes, I think I would. And I'm not in the business of having people die for some object. Not when it can be avoided.
Good.
Right. So look, I'm in a bit of a dilemma here. I'm supposed to kind of obliged, obligated, you could say, to not care about that, and do exactly what do exactly what I did with the other one to this one. I'm not going to do that, but that's still a really powerful artifact that really, really shouldn't just be in circulation. So I'm going to have to ask you to please, for the love of all things good in the world, maybe don't just keep it on display, and maybe use it a bit more discreetly.
I mean, for one, most people don't know what it does, and it's just a fancy pocket watch.
But that's going to change if you keep unmaking fucking sandwiches.
Well, he doesn't know how I do it.
Well, that's it's a start.
To him, it's just a broken pocket watch that doesn't tick. That really does annoy him. But I haven't let him get at it because, of course, I won't.
Well, no.
I know a thing or two about misdirection and how to keep someone's attention so they're not looking at where I'm doing my fancy tricks.
Yes, well, you seem to. And that's genuine.
Thank you. It's how I was able to steal from you the second time, because really, it was a bit too easy. You really made it, honestly, a bit too easy. I knew where you kept your things, and then,
I was a bit distracted by the Mora dilemma in front of me, and he gestures at him and his pocket watch and his wings.
Like, I was shaking your hand when I stole from you.
Yes, but I'd already, if you'll excuse the pun, clocked on to the problem.
Okay, that one was fair. That was a good pun. I'll allow it.
All right.
Either way, I'm pretty sure if I decide to go off the deep end and try to be evil or something with it, or abuse its power, which I sincerely don't think I'll be doing again.
Sorry. Again.
Never mind that.
He puts his hands up, like, nah, hang on. No. No. I do believe in second chances. I do want to know what happened.
And I may not have been a very good person in the past.
Yes. Okay.
I didn't... It, was entirely unrelated to the watch. I didn't even have it at the time.
Oh, then I don't care.
Okay. Cool. All right. Right. There's just a bit of defensiveness, like, okay. Like he was prepared for something. He has been confronted on this several times. It's like, okay.
Yeah, it is. It seems like this guy is pretty single-minded, like, on this one thing.
Yeah, no, since I got this has been a bit of a... Camille would hate me if I called it a redemption arc, but it's a bit close to what that is. I have several people who would kick my ass if I tried to do anything bad with this. Also, I would feel quite guilty if I was abusing the power that I was gifted. Because I did in fact say I was trying to be a better person. And, you know, going a bit how I used to be, with this would be bad.
Mm.
Really bad. And yeah, I don't think I'm going to do that. And I mean, there's several people who would be quite upset with me.
Mm-hmm.
Not even all people, but yeah, it would be bad. It would be quite bad.
Mm. All right. All right. All right. Okay. Okay.
Are we good? You're not going to lecture me more on the importance of
No,
stuff.
I think we are good. I think you understand the uh, sort of uh, gravitas
Yes,
attached
I'm not
to.
going to go fucking around with time. That would cause her so much work, and it must already be a pain in the ass editing all the timelines and everything. That's work enough. I'm not going to make her have to deal with that mess.
He pauses for a second, like he thought you were talking about something else,
Hmm.
and then just sort of like, uh, you know, he drops the she, and he like that. It it clicks.
Hmm.
Um, he shakes his head like, yes, it good. That's fine. I'm glad. I don't trust any I don't trust any god's judgment, but I trust my judgment, and you're on my radar, and the
That's a bit egocentric.
yeah, well, I have a bit of an ego. Um, then the boys trust you, and you've got, I mean, you've got everybody, that whole group, I assume, are probably, a lot of them are the people you're talking about who would give you what
Yes.
for.
Uh, quite honestly, everyone in that trip
Mm-hmm.
who went there, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Considering several of them are my siblings, I don't know if I'm actually working for Moria at this point. I think I am. Hey, stars. I, look, it's been a while since I've had a proper job. It's
No,
a
that's
dubious state of things. And also, I mean, Tom already got on me once. He's kind of my dad now. I think he would have a bit of a Ugh, I've already given him one crisis. I don't need to give him several more.
oof. I don't know that he needs that.
He does not. He has too many. I already feel really bad about the one. I feel really bad about the one. Okay, I'm not going to give him another.
Yes. Well, uh, um, yes, this is fine. It's he's like half trying to convince himself, like, um, this is like very clearly against his normal mo. Um, but he's just sort of like, he
Not
looks
like I'm
like
exactly
slightly.
a hard person to find if you ever need to assure yourself that I'm not abusing power or whatever.
All
I mean,
right.
he gestures to himself, like, for one, very pink glasses that are very distinctive. Secondly, he is 6'5". He is tall,
Mm-hmm.
and the wings are big enough to be distinctive. It's like I think I'm a bit noticeable.
Yes. Well.
That or you have their group chat and can send the menaces after me.
Yes. Yes. No, I can. All right. And he seems like still a bit exasperated. As he like rubs like the heel of his palm over his face. Okay. I'm sorry to have had to, I don't know, confront you about this, but it's kind of one of the most important things to me ever, so
Mm-hmm.
just don't make me regret this. Please.
To be fair, I'm a constant disappointment, so we'll see how that goes.
You're not helping.
No, I'm usually not. There is a definite just pat. He walks up and just kind of like pats Professor's shoulder,
Mm-hmm.
and just a bit. It is a bit condescending, like "I'm your problem now."
Yeah, he smirks a bit.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, well, if I ever meet this time goddess, I may have some words for her, but for the time being, I think we're square.
Hmm. Uh, don't go too harsh on her. She already had enough to deal with me. I was a bit of a problem child.
No promises.
I'd like a bit of a promise on that one.
Okay, but she kind of just handed you this thing.
Yes. Also, I I mean, she does see all the timelines and stuff and would kind of know the sort of person I am a bit better than I know myself, though I do. Ugh. I'd like to think I know myself quite well, however, it is a bit colored. I'll
Yeah.
admit that.
Well, I'm not inclined to take the word of even people who see all the timelines.
Still, go a bit easy on someone who had to bring me back. I quite like being here, and I was a bit of a wreck.
I'll be civil about it.
You know, I get the feeling that's the most I can ask of you.
I think it probably is just about.
Mm-hmm. Based on your reaction to everything, yeah, I think civil. Civil's good.
Hmm.
There's another pat, and he steps back to his personal space bubble.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And roll perception again.
Yep. Okay, that's a nat 20.
Yeah. You could tell, while he is still being a bit of a prick, because at this point you just know this guy is an asshole. He is rude.
Mm-hmm.
He did fulfill his promise. You can feel that extra small bit of weight back in your pocket.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he just sort of like huffs, amused.
Mm-hmm. Now, as said, I think unless you're going to lecture me more on the importance of being responsible, and he does in fact do the quotation marks with his fingers like responsible.
No, I think I'm all lectured out for today.
Fantastic. I should certainly hope you're all sung out as well.
Hmm.
Never do that again. That was awful.
That I won't promise.
Oh, stars. Well, I got one promise, that's good enough. He is just, again, that same kind of, it's lighter, but it's like, oh no. Whereas your big deal is time, you can tell the off-key music was making him twitch a little bit.
Okay, I think the funniest way to sort of like start this wrapping up is like Professor sees that and he immediately like bursts into song, like something really loud and obnoxious.
Oh no.
And I'm going to roll performance, but it doesn't really matter. This is at least 17, so it's decent singing.
It's just pointedly obnoxious.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Oh my god, Professor's the trumpet kid.
But yeah, he just like oh god, I think he starts like I think I know exactly what song he's singing. As he sort of starts to like back away slowly and like turn to go his own way, there's sort of like, we'll meet again someday soon, I don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day, you know.
There is the flattest look from Jubilee. It is the most unimpressed thing. He is a tune, but he does not appreciate the show tune. It is just hands in front of his face like, boy. It's like, I am going to regret this. You know what? Nope. And he does, in fact, just give a little salute and Misty steps away. And there's a fun little detail with that. Because you've seen, for the most part, most of this magic has been golden and gear themed. But this one's a little different. It's not Thunderstep. It's definitely still Misty Step. But you almost see storm clouds. In what appears, and then he is gone away, and there are several Misty Steps to just be away, goodbye. He is leaving. He is leaving very quickly.
Yeah, his singing is like slightly broken up with laughter.
It is. This is the guy who burns his spell slots and then just stealths out. It's like, goodbye, exit stage left, I'm gone. No, yeah. I don't want to be part of your musical. Good day.
Yeah. Gosh. Well, I think that's pretty good.
Yeah. Thank you for having this game with me today, Oatmeal.
Yes, thank you. This was really good. I'm glad we could have them finally meet.
Yay. Hands the professor a crisis. Have fun.
Yeah. Okay.
And with that, yeah, let us bid our audience present and future a fond farewell. Have a wonderful time zone, everyone. Goodbye.
Bye.